Hello, you retards and screwheads. Welcome to another edition of my show. Today I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to talk about being married to a narcissist, a female with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, listen, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. I went to school to be a teacher. That's what I am. I'm just a teacher. But with that said, like the Bob Dylan song goes, you don't need to be a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. And I've been married to this woman for 25 years. She's been out of my life now for about a year. She discarded me, which is, trust me, it's not, if you get discarded by a toxic person, it's not that bad of a deal. It's not a heartbreaking incident. Trust me on that one. The peace is nice. And I wanted to come here to talk about the strange, weird thing called the golden child and the black sheep. I have two kids. And if you marry one of these disturbed women, a lot of times she'll have a golden child. So that's what I want to talk about. Well, I guess I could give you a little history first. When I was 28, I met a woman, who was a year younger than me, and she was very beautiful, extremely beautiful. Looked like a model. And I don't look like a model, right? And she was very nice to me. She's always like doing things like she'd buy an expensive bottle of whiskey, or she'd give you a gift for this, or, just very nice things. And whatever I wanted to do, she'd do. Like I was in Korea. I'm still in Korea. She's a Korean woman, I should say. And you might say, yeah, I want to go for mok samgyeopsal. That's the neck, pig neck. Like the flesh from the neck of the pig. And there's, they do it in a barbecue, and like, oh yeah, sure, I love mok samgyeopsal. Hey, let's go watch a baseball game. Yeah, I'm a big fan of baseball. Let's do this. Oh yeah, I love that. So it seemed like we had a lot in common. This is something called mirroring that these women do, is that anything you like, suddenly they like. They mirror everything you do. So it seems like you have great compatibility. I fell for it. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no idea. Somebody's mirroring me. What the hell do I know? So we get married. And then suddenly it occurs to me on the honeymoon, this woman hates my guts. I mean, the look on her face. And it was just unreal. What happened to the other girl? Just this mask of hatred. We did the honeymoon in Thailand. It was a mask of hatred. I figured she'd get better. Yeah? No, that didn't happen. So, anyway, I like to keep these videos under 10 minutes, so I wanted to do it on the golden child and the black sheep. So I don't know if I have the time for that now. But anyway, yeah, the hatred. I mean, it was just night and day. And it was like, what happened to the other person? Did some vampire come and suck the life force out of her? It was unreal. And nothing you did would ever make her happy. Like you might say, wow, she's really pissed off today. Let me go buy some flowers and see if this will cheer her up. And you bring her flowers and nothing. Let me see if I could take her out for food. Hey, let's go for mok samgyeopsal. No, I don't like mok samgyeopsal. You don't like mok samgyeopsal? We used to eat it all the time. Yeah, but I don't like it. Let's go see a baseball game. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sports. You're not a fan of sports? You used to go with me all the time. Yeah, not anymore. You know, it was that kind of thing. And nothing you could do would snap her out of it. We moved back to America. I remember I was a public school teacher, and we just had our first child, and I said it was Valentine's Day, February. So there was a steakhouse. I said, let's go to this steakhouse. I blew teachers don't make a lot. I must have blew a couple $100 on this steakhouse. Bottle of wine, steaks, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. The same look. This never satisfied, angry, dark cloud. It was terrible. And I've been living like that for 20. It's sad, man. I've been living like that for 25 years. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyway, there are a lot of teaching opportunities in Asia, and eventually we went back with both the kids. You know, we have two kids. They're separated by 8 years. You know, right now one's 24 and the other one's 16. Well, one's 23. He's going to be 24 in a little while, about another 6 months, and one's 16. So anyway, we go back to America or Korea. I got a job teaching because I figured we'd make more money. I figured she'd go out in her home country and get a job. Or there's a lot of money for English in this country, and it's a English crazy country. They all want to learn it. I figured we could both work and we'd make a ton of money and it'd be great. Well, that didn't work out. You know, she usually would just sit in the apartment and clean, and I'd go work, and and didn't work out like I had planned. So anyway, but this is the way I looked at it at the time. I said to myself, I said, she hates me, fine. But at least she looks after the kids. If she hates me, okay. I get it. Whatever. But at least she's a competent mother. Not overly affectionate, but she keeps them clean, and they go to school and their clothes are nice and clean, and she gives them showers, and she keeps a clean house. Fine. It's like being married to an angry maid in Nanny. I can deal with it. I'm a tough guy. I can deal with it. So then one day, well, when my son turned about 13, right when he was going into middle school, she suddenly developed the hatred she had for me toward him and started putting him through hell. And, like she'd take both the kids out for, let's say, ice cream. And the youngest child would get a big, beautiful bowl, maybe like special things. And the other kid would get like a little cone. Or she'd go out and buy, to the store and buy my youngest son a gift. And the oldest son got nothing. Really kind of weird kind of stuff like that. It was the beginning of that golden child dynamic where I love him, but I'm not too crazy about him. Very weird stuff psychologically. I don't understand it. Frankly, I don't want to understand it. It's just bad. So what happened one day, so I'm at work, I get a frantic call from my wife. He's missing. I said, who's missing? The oldest child, he's missing. I can't find him. And that's a chill in your heart, your kid's missing. So I leave work and I'm looking around all over town for him. I'm walking up this street, the next. I know he's a fan of video games, so I'm walking into all the computer rooms, seeing if he's playing video games or computer games, whatever. I can't find him. And then I'm just at my wit's end. And I get a call. And it's him. I said, son, what's going on? Now at this time, I had two apartments. I had one I had bought with cash. It was a nice little place, which I made the mistake of putting in her name, by the way, which, again, what the heck was I thinking? And I had an apartment given to me by my employer. You know, we lived in my house, and sometimes we lived in the other apartment. I don't want you to think these are palaces or anything. They're little apartments. And, so I get this call. I said, "Where are you, son?" He says, "I'm at the teacher's apartment." And I said, "What are you doing there? How'd you get there?" "Oh, I walked." We're talking like an hour walk, and this was February. It's cold in February. Luckily, it wasn't freezing. It was in the 40s. So I said, "Don't go anywhere. I'm coming." I drive up there. He's in the guard shack. You know, all these apartment buildings have guard shacks. And I get him and put him in my car. He's dressed in his pajamas. He walked for an hour up to this apartment in his pajamas. And I said, "What happened?" "Well, Mom kicked me out of the house." Something, of course, she lied about. You know, she didn't tell me that. She just said he was missing. Kicked me out of the house, and I didn't know where to go. So I just walked up here. At this time, I believe he's 13, 12 or 13, going into 7th grade. And we drove back to the other apartment. And as soon as he got in the door, she started chasing him around with a broomstick. So I put an end to that. I said, pack your stuff. And we both moved out to the teacher apartment, me and him. And the golden child, who was the youngest child, didn't want to come, so he stayed with her. And this went on for years, this dynamic of her and him, my oldest one. I would try to force them to reconcile, and that was a big mistake. And it was all this tension. And then my oldest son started growing. And whenever she'd become abusive, he'd become abusive back to her. Like Asian style, you have these sliding windows, right? All the bedrooms have them. They lead out to the veranda. So we're all sitting in the teacher's apartment. We had reconciled. This has been going on forever, by the way. She'd leave, bring my youngest son with her, and then come back, and it just wash, rinse, repeat. So one day, my oldest son, when he's about 14 or 15, he's well over 6 feet at this time, and he's in his room, he's playing his computer game or whatever, and I just hear them screaming at each other, and I hear this bang. And it turns out he had thrown her through the window, which is terrible. But she had bitten him. She had bitten him on the chest. He had the teeth mark. And he just said, no. He pushed her. And she went out the window, onto the veranda. She didn't fall out of the window to her death or anything like that. Just onto the veranda. And, she packed all her bags and left again. And my point is, that's a telltale sign if your wife starts doing that. If she starts picking favorites, she has her golden child and her scumbag, and all this hate starts going on the scumbag, right? It's not a good sign. It means that you married a loon. And it's hard. It's very hard. I've been going through it, like I said, for 25 years. I think January is the time when it's finally over. My youngest son is no longer the golden child. It seems like when they turn a certain age, my oldest son went back to America when he was 16. He's now going to graduate college in January, so all's well that ends well, I guess. And I'm going to go back there with my youngest son is going to be with me, and it's pretty much over now. But I'm saying that if you're married to one of these women and she does that kind of thing where she picks one who's a favorite, and she starts bullying the other one, it's a sign that you might be married to a narcissist. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist, but if this golden child and this black sheep dynamic seems to be consistent with narcissistic female behavior. And I guess male narcissists do it too. They pit the children against each other. They pick a winner and they pick a loser. And they say, yeah, this one's going to be the winner and this one's definitely the loser. It's sick. It's heartbreaking. But that's what they do. Be careful. If you meet a girl and she's beautiful and you look at yourself in the mirror and you realize you ain't beautiful, and she's buying you all kinds of gifts and she's making you feel like $1 million, something fishy, right? Something fishy with that. Anyway, what do I know? I'll be back. I'll see if this gets any views. Who knows, right? This is just coming from a guy. Who knows if it'll get any views? A guy who's been through it, been through the wars. Anyway, God bless you. And if you like this video, press like. If you want to subscribe, press subscribe. And God bless again and have a great day. Bye-bye.